Good morning, what's shaking, what's happening? Welcome back to Tasty Bites Timeless Travels. Today is day 76, I think. The app's not working. Of our Holland America cruise around the world. Today, it's port stop, South Africa time, Richards Bay. Let's go. Look at how beautiful the sailing is for Richards Bay. Before the port, obviously. It's a cargo port, but this scenery is stunning with the, I don't know, it's not like a wetlands, but not a marsh. I don't know, but the greenery is stunning. And then you go through all this beauty. And then you're at this port. Not much to look at, but right beside it is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful weather today, too. So we are currently waiting for our immigration number to be called. Because this is our point of entry into South Africa, the country, we have to go through a full immigration. So this one was kind of wonky. There were some people that, this is a launching point for some safaris. They needed to leave by a certain time, so they were asked if they were an independent overland or early morning tour to submit their proof of tour to guest services so that they could be prioritized for immigration. And then they were doing the floors, and the last time we had an immigration like this, our floor was one of the first ones to go, so now I think we're one of the last groups. We're group 19, and they just called group 10, I think, and they've been calling groups for about 30 minutes now, so eventually we will go, but it should be a good day. Like I said, a lot of places in the African continent, Holland is not comfortable with us walking around. We've been warned not to walk around the port areas, so they were shuttling and busing us places. This one is, you're going to the mall. Once you get off the ship, you board a shuttle, you go to the mall. There's no pass-go or any of that. People that had providers that were allowed to drive onto the port had to submit proof of that also. But we're going to the mall. We didn't plan anything. There's still a bunch of stops left on this cruise, and I will tell you, just about every excursion in Africa was insanely expensive. I was kind of surprised. So we're opting not to do any safari or anything like that. Yes, I know that sounds crazy to come to Africa and not do a safari when you're so close, but it's very windy. It just wasn't where we wanted to spend our money. And the friends we had dinner with last night, they are going on a 5-night safari leaving today. And they're still not sold on the amount of money that they paid for it versus the experience. So I'm sure they're going to have a blast. No, I don't think I've ever heard anyone come back from an African safari and not enjoy it. But for us, with how long this cruise is, with how expensive this cruise is, and how much these excursions add up, we did opt out of doing an African safari. Plus, C is too old for the yellow fever shot. And we would have probably needed to get one. So it just, peace of mind, we're just not going to deal with it. But we do get this beautiful view from the balcony while we wait for our immigration number to be called. Check it out. Now, Richards Bay is a cargo port, which is why we have to shuttle. But it's next to all this green landscaping and stuff, so very beautiful. So nice view from the balcony. We're not on the cargo side. And we're also up super earlier than we meant to be because for whatever reason, the pilots for this port and the next one, which is Durban, they didn't want to take a pilot boat out here. They helicoptered in. So we were awoken at 6 in the morning by a helicopter because the bridge is above us. So I think he came back to the bridge. He actually reversed all the way back to the bridge to give a thumbs up before he flew off after he dropped the pilot off. So that was interesting. Never seen that before. And they're doing drills today. So we're going to go wait on a number to be called, and we'll see you from the mall. The drill today must involve the lifeboats because it's not a tender port. They're just zooming it around, and it's attached to the ship. It's kind of funny, actually. I've never seen that. All right, so we have made it to the mall. We got here probably about 10:15. Not a bad drive, not a fantastic drive either. The bus has no air conditioning and it was very, very busy. But first stop in the mall is our first grocery store. There's 2 in this mall, so take a look-see. grocery store number 3 for this mall. The second one was very local, very tight, very not artsy. This one's kind of bougie looking. It kind of reminds me of a Whole Foods. Another grocery store in this mall. This one is in the Woolworths. It's like an old school Woolworths where it has a department store and a like market area. It's like a full-on grocery store. Kind of cool. Yet another grocery store, but this one kind of reminds me of Walmart. So I think we're probably going to end up buying stuff here. We don't need a card for any of those sales, but this has been a day of grocery stores at a really nice mall. All right, so we had a great time at the mall. We actually didn't return until we caught the 3 o'clock shuttle back. It's like 4:50 now. I ended up taking a shower. Just because the port area, we decided to look at the vendors down there, and it's very dusty, very coal. I think it's coal that's beside us, and I'm also getting a little bit of a cold, so I was trying to get my nose to clear up a little bit. But thoughts on the mall? It's one of the nicest malls we've been in. There was like 5 grocery stores. It was insane. There was 2 massive pharmacies. There was a bunch of clothing stores, and let me tell you, the clothing was incredibly reasonable. If we already weren't kind of at the max of our closet space at the moment, we would have probably bought more clothes, and I got real close to buying clothes for, there's 2 babies in the family. My niece has 2 very little ones, and I was like, man, I could clean up and get them all kinds of new outfits, but you know, they're the youngest of 5, so they don't need new outfits. They probably have hand-me-downs, but like, it was just so reasonable for clothes and shoes. It was like crazy. So very, very nice mall. Lunch was really good. We ate at this place that the name escapes me. It's like Spurs or something like that, Bronco Spurs. It kind of gave us the vibe of like a Longhorn, but it was, that entire lunch only cost me $24, and I even tipped the person because I couldn't remember if we were supposed to tip or not in South Africa, but there was a line for it, so I went ahead and just tipped. So lunch was really good. Now, this is the weird thing that's about the mall. You have to pay to use the restroom, which is not uncommon outside of the United States, and I get that. The problem is we didn't have any local currency because they didn't offer currency exchange on the ship. There's no cruise port terminal here. They literally took us off the ship and took us to the mall. The mall, even though it had a bank in it, didn't do currency exchange, didn't have a currency exchange point whatsoever. So I didn't have any local currency. So we ran into one person who said no, she was forced to go to the ATM, pull out money, go to a store, buy something to break it into smaller bills, and then use the restroom. She was very upset. And then we ran into another couple that said, oh, well, we just asked the restroom attendant if they would take an American dollar, and she was overjoyed and took it because that's like 20 times worth what they were charging. So, you know, it just happens. We ended up going back to the restaurant we ate lunch at because they had a restroom in the restaurant and said, hey, we ate here earlier. Is there any way we can use the restroom? And they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Come back. You know, no worries. So that worked out for us. But had a Kit Kat McFlurry at McDonald's. The McFlurries were a little different than the States, but it was still delicious nonetheless. I did have to wait 15 minutes because there was like 2 huge orders in front of mine, and I think they just forgot about mine. So, you know, it was all good, but the mall was definitely, you know, out of all the malls we've been to, it's in one of the top malls. Now, we are getting tired of shopping malls. However, like I said, as far as Africa is concerned, the excursions were very expensive, so we didn't really want to do anything, and this is what Holland has thought to do, because on Grand Voyages, they will shuttle you somewhere that there are things to do. So, but, that was Durban, not Durban. That was Richards Bay. We're in Durban tomorrow. But now it's time for dinner. So let's go get something to eat. All right, appetizers have arrived. C and I got the same thing. It's a babuti spring roll. I don't know if they had to make any modifications to her for dairy because it looks almost the same as mine. So we are looking good for dinner starting. C and I were thinking alike today for appetizers because we also both got French onion soup. Mine has the bread and crouton, and C's is just the broth. But her broth is so fresh, it's steamy. Let's find out if mine's the steamy. All right, entrees have arrived. C got the cauliflower with the green tahini. She's had this a couple times this trip already, so we will see if it is just as good the third time. And for me, I got the grilled chicken, and it comes with sweet potatoes and mango relish and zucchini. So a little spin on their grilled chicken dish tonight. Looking good. And with that, we are going to call it an evening. It was a great day. Durban was not Durban. We were in Richards Bay today. It's a very interesting place, one of the nicer malls, lots of grocery stores. It's not normally a cruise stop. We were actually supposed to be in Madagascar, so the port was actually really not designed. No cruise terminal, no money exchange. Money exchange threw everyone off. Couldn't go to the restroom at the mall. Couldn't buy from the vendors at the port because they did bring in some people that set up tables and had crafts, but they wanted local money, and that was a challenge for us today. But hey, we made through it. We didn't get anything at the mall, so it works out. As far as dinner, it was okay. It wasn't our favorite dinner of all time. We ended up at Lido just for a few other things to finish off the meal and things like that. But nice evening on the ship. We were gonna go to the comedy show, but after the last comedian got pulled, and then this one, people complained about him after his first show, but it wasn't so bad that they pulled him. There wasn't a lot of people in there. He wasn't super popular, and so we kind of opted to skip it, and we've just kind of put it around the ship, went to the casino, a few other little things. So very quiet night for us because tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we are actually in Durban, and it's a long day. We're there forever. There's a lot of people getting off for safaris. There's a lot of people that you could take like a day safari out of Durban. We're taking the bus to this place called Ushaka World, and we're going to see what there is over there. But Durban is apparently a very rough place to walk around. We've been warned in quite a few port talks, coffee chats, headline shows, cocktails of the dangers of Durban. They did not get a notice this year to warn us, but they said they were doing it anyway based on what happened last year. We've heard some horror stories, so we are definitely going to be kind of eyes wide open, elbows out, very aware of our surroundings sort of deal. But they also, even though we're allowed to walk out of the port building this year, they highly suggest to not do it unless you were just literally getting on the bus. And they said they won't eyes focus, get on the bus and go, sort of deal, because it's outside of the security area. So we shall see how this goes. I am probably not taking my nice camera tomorrow, though. I will tell you that because they did kind of creep me out. So I might be just filming on the iPhone tomorrow. But that will be tomorrow. So make sure you hit that notification button, like, subscribe, and follow along all that fun social stuff to keep following us along on our 2025 adventures around the world with Holland America's Dam, and see what we end up doing in Durban tomorrow, because I don't know either. So we'll find out. Have a great day. Bye.